Many of the tools needed for installing one are very common items that you probably already have or have local access to. A medium bristle push broom, rake, tape measure, shovel, garden hose with adjustable spray nozzle, a utility knife with new blades, tin flashing. This is used during the seaming process if you're joining multiple rolls together. This can be purchased at any home improvement store. Coal slag or copper slag infill. Typically this product is called coal slag on the East Coast and copper slag on the West Coast. This should be 30-60 grit or mesh size. The infill grades are scaled with 20 grit being large or coarse grit, 30 to 35 grit is medium, and 40 to 60 grit is fine. The large 20 grit slag will not sweep properly into the fibers of the turf. This slag product can be purchased at any local sandblasting supply store. Check your Yellow Page listings for locations. The cost is approximately $8 to $10 per 100-pound bag. The formula to determine the amount of slag infill you will need is as follows. On the half-inch product, take the total amount of square feet and multiply by 3.5. This will equal the number of pounds of infill required. 3.5 represents 3½ pounds of infill per square foot on the green. For example, you will need 13 100-pound bags of infill for a 12 by 30 putting green. On the 1-inch product, take the total amount of square feet and multiply by 5.5. This will equal the number of pounds of infill required. 5.5 represents 5½ pounds of infill per square foot on the green. For example, you will need 40 100-pound bags of infill for a 24 by 30 putting green. The sub-base material you will need is a crushed stone. The stone has several common names like manufactured sand, screenings, disintegrated granite, crushed fines, or stone dust. The stone is normally granite or limestone. The stone must be 3/8 inch minus or 1/4 inch minus. This means none of the pieces of stone are larger than 3/8 of an inch. This can be purchased at a local rock quarry or gravel pit. Be sure that the stone has not been washed. You want the smaller, finer pieces of stone and powder to help in the base compaction process. This will cost approximately $20 per ton. A formula to determine the amount of stone sub-base you will need is as follows. For every 12 by 6 foot area or every 72 square feet, you will need 1 ton. This will give you a sub-base with a 4-inch compacted depth. For example, you will need 4 tons for the 12 by 24 putting green, 5 tons for the 12 by 30 putting green, and so on. A vibratory plate compactor, sometimes called a gas tamp, or a 1-ton mechanical ride-on roller. This is used to compact the sub-base material. If you are compacting an area that is 1,000 square feet or larger, the ride-on roller is recommended because it compacts the sub-base harder and more quickly than the plate compactor. Also, with the ride-on roller, it will take you about 1/3 of the time it would take using the plate compactor. Rental cost for the plate compactor is approximately $45 per day, approximately $80 per day for the ride-on roller. A drop spreader. This will be used to spread the infill onto the green. Weed barrier. This stabilizes the sub-base and will not allow it to sink into the ground. This can be purchased at any home and garden supply store. Fast-drying concrete mix. This is for concreting your cups into the sub-base. Commercial grade masonry sand.